Yo, yo, yo. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Giving Out Free Game. There will be some game giving. You just gotta catch the game and apply this game to your life if this game is good for your life. Because there will be some game giving. Today I got a very special guest in here. And he's a Memphis legend, artist, painter. He's the owner of Urevbu Contemporary Arts downtown on Main Street. Man, he's the reason the Memphis airport has paintings in it. And it's my guy, my new best friend, Ephraim, man. Ephraim, how you doing?
Thank you very much for having me.
I appreciate it, man.
Great.
I appreciate it. I've been waiting on this interview.
Thank you.
Ever since I met you, you was like, hey man, I want to come on your show. I was like, oh, we're going to do that. We're going to do
Definitely.
that. For real, man. I can't wait, man. I really appreciate you even letting me come down to your store, your shop, and do my bet you don't know.
Yes.
I really appreciate that.
Yes.
Because it helped me take the thing I'm doing to another level.
Yes.
And I was trying to help. We was helping each other.
Yes.
And that's what I love doing.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm trying to actually accomplish here.
Mm-hmm.
How do I use this gift
Right.
to help other artists elevate their art?
Right.
And collaborate with them to come up with products that is unique.
Exactly.
And different,
Mm-hmm.
right? So meeting you was very refreshing,
Mm-hmm.
because the one thing I've been here for quite some time,
Right.
and so the one thing I've always struggled with is how do we as a people get to work together,
Right.
you know, without the baggage of envies and egos
Man,
that come along with that.
You said it. It's so hard to get people to work together. Even in my field, I started off doing music. It's so hard to get these artists to work together. Like you said, egos. They gotta understand that we all bosses. We all bosses. It's not we all come together trying to make something happen. Somebody want to get the most money. He want to be the boss of all of it. But it's just so hard, man, to get people to come together and work, man. It is, man.
But it's doable. It's finding very unique people,
Right.
and working with those people, and in the process, it will open the door or open the eyes of others to see. You know what? If they're successful at what we do, at what they do, why not we?
Right.
Yeah.
I got a few questions I want to ask you today, man. So, where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm originally from Nigeria. Grew up in Nigeria, went to school in Nigeria, and after my elementary and primary schools, decided to pursue a career in fine art, which at that time is not something that your parents encouraged, because I come from a family of 8, and there's always that competition
Right.
to who is going to excel most.
Exactly. Yes.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And we happen to have been blessed with a mother who was a visionary.
Right.
I grew up in a single home family. My mother raised all of us, which again is abnormal for the culture.
Right.
Because the man is always the head of the family.
Right.
But my mom left my dad because my dad married other women, and my mom
Wasn't agreeing with it.
Didn't sit well with my mom.
Yes.
She left my dad, and she took all the kids with her.
Yes.
Which is abnormal,
Yes.
In Africa.
Oh, they do it here too.
Okay.
These ladies are taking these kids away from these
but
dudes
in
now.
Africa,
Yes.
the children belong to the man.
Really?
So if you're ready to leave, you're welcome to leave.
Really?
But you leave the children behind.
With the father.
Yes.
Oh
Yes,
man.
that's the rule.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And so that's why there's very little, the percentage of divorces are low.
Oh yeah.
Because people don't want to, women don't want to leave
With the
without their kids.
exactly. I don't want.
know.
Yeah, you ain't lying. I feel you.
So,
Yeah.
but she did, and and it was after she left, she discovered she was pregnant with me. And so I grew up not really knowing, not really having a relationship. I knew my dad, but really didn't have a father-son relationship.
Right.
And it was a struggle. Grew up very poor in a shanty town.
Right.
But those struggles were the fuel that I needed to light the fire in me.
Right.
To be successful in life.
Right.
What does success mean for me? At that time was just simple as getting away from poverty.
Poverty, yeah.
Okay? And I happened to gain admission into an elite high school. There were only 3 of them in the country.
Right.
That were built for the next generation of leaders. And I happened to have to gain admission into one of them.
How was it like coming up in Nigeria when you was younger? How was it like?
You know, I would say it was beautiful in the sense that, you know, everything was there. You know, we ate fruits from trees. So, I mean, on my way to school, went to school hungry, but by the time I get to school, I'm full because we have all these beautiful plants along the way that we pluck. Bananas, mangoes, guavas, all these exotic fruits that you don't even see here, we are abundant everywhere.
Oh, they want to make money. In the United States, they want to make money off all that in here.
And they grew effortlessly. You know what I'm saying? So we were exposed to all of that. Education was big. You know,
yes, right.
You know, Nigerians, one thing about Nigerians, they have to have the PhDs,
right,
master's degrees and all of that. So the competition was high.
Right.
And so education was one of the things that propelled us a lot. We didn't have much resources, but we didn't lack much either, you know, because we didn't need much to survive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I would say it was beautiful. I mean, looking back, those were some of the most beautiful times of my life, you know?
That's great, man. That's great. So living in Nigeria, what got you into art?
You know, it's one of those things you discovered very, very young. I always love colors.
Yes. I found that at a young age, I couldn't draw at all. I couldn't draw a straight line.
You know, but, you know, I was in tune to nature very early on.
Right.
Okay, I grew up by the Atlantic Ocean. So we go after school, we ran to the ocean and spearfished.
Right.
And roasted our fish. You know, so we were connected to creation.
Yes.
And in the process, I really began to really appreciate the beauty of creation. A sunset on the ocean, for example, captivated me very early on as a kid. And not just that, is the arrays of colors that is displayed when the sun is setting.
Right.
The oranges against the blues, you know, which years later I discovered were complementary colors.
Exactly. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And so because of that, very early on I was in tune to colors. I wanted to play with them. I wanted to draw. I wanted to experience all of that. Okay, and that's how my artistic talent really grew.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I want to jump to a question I have for you. Because I do music, right? And I might do a song, and I'm like, this song is gonna change somebody,
right?
Long as they hear it,
right?
How can visual art change the world? Because like I just said, right? I do music. When I do a song, I'm like, hey, this is a great positive song I just did. I just know if one person that is going through these things listen to it, they might change because they heard what I'm saying. How does art fit in with that right there? Because I heard it does.
Yes. Have you heard the saying, a picture is worth what?
1,000 words. Yes.
You can get a great book and you read the book.
Right.
You enjoy it at that moment. It becomes inspiring at that moment. A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you forget about it.
Right.
the two art forms that really touches the soul more than any form of art you can imagine is music and visual.
Right.
Because you are stimulating two senses. The sense of hearing
Right.
and the sense of sight.
Right.
Then the third is culinary art, the sense of taste.
Right.
These three things captivate the soul. And if you, as an artist, can really ignite those things, I guarantee you change the world.
Right.
Okay? So with the visual art, when someone sees an image that they can connect to, that image is banked in their subconscious for years.
You're right.
And it can be recalled at any time by an incident or by being in a place.
Right.
I give you an example. 9/11.
Right.
When I saw those planes crash into those buildings,
Right.
right? That image was seared in my brain forever.
Ever. You're right. You're right. You're right.
And so, on occasion, when I look up and I see a plane, that image comes back to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So image, a picture, they say, is worth 1,000 words. And that's what visual art can do if used correctly.
Right. Okay. You explained it to me perfectly. How do you know a painting is finished? How do you know it's done? When you're doing it, how do you know the painting is done?
Your spirit speaks to you. Just like as a musician, how do you know the music is complete? How do you know that's it? I don't want to touch it anymore. Your spirit speaks to you.
You're right.
There are occasions where I've done a piece that took me almost 4 or 5 years to complete.
Right.
And there are occasions where I've done a piece that took 30 minutes.
Really? So you worked on a painting for like 3 years?
Yes.
Really?
I work on it. And it just does not I don't connect with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I store it.
I understand. I ain't mean to cut you off, but I feel what you're saying.
Right.
Because I am a great musician.
Right.
To me, I'm one of the best to do it.
Exactly.
So I do have a songs in my computer right now
Right.
that I did 10 years ago.
Right.
I haven't even never put it out.
Right. Because you don't feel like it's complete.
Yes,
right?
yes.
That can be explained. So I store it up, and then maybe 4 or 5 years later, I bring it out, I look at it, I just keep it there. And as I'm working in other pieces, something clicks with me on that piece.
Right.
And I go back and complete it. So in my studio, I actually have like 5, 6 easels that I work on the same time. So I don't work on one particular piece.
Yes.
Because I get bored very,
Hey, you
very
sound like me, right? Hey, look, you keep on, because our brains think the same, but we do 2 different things, right?
Exactly.
Because when I do songs, when I be here, I can do 7 songs in one day.
Okay.
Because you know what? I might work on one song, I might put a chorus on one, right? Like, hold on, let me go to this other song.
Right.
Okay, I might put a verse on it. Okay, let me go to this other song.
Right.
Because I'm getting my brain is
Exactly.
firing on so many different titles of things I'm working on. I'm able to work on 4 songs at one time.
That's the creative mind.
Yes.
And you cannot suppress that.
Yes.
You got to just let it flow.
I do, yeah.
Right? It's when you try to suppress that's when you get really depressed.
Yes. So sometime I come in here, I put out an album last. It was just a tape, a CD I put out. But I did it in one day. I did like 10 songs, and they was like, Z-Dogg, you did 10 songs in one day, and I was doing it just like I explained to you. I was going back and forth from 10 songs in one day. And I made it happen. Because my brain was fine with creativity.
You're in a zone.
And I was talking about different topics on every song, and I was putting different melodies on every song, and all the songs, neither one of them sound alike. They all sound different. But I was working on them at the same time. Yes, for real. So, man, I'm glad you explained. I had to jump to some questions, man, because I really want you to speak about that. So what brought you to Memphis?
Education, first and foremost, but primarily I was running away from home.
Running away?
Yeah, because like I said, I went to an elite school, and with that came very high expectations. And those expectations were that I become one of the 3 basic profession in Nigeria that is considered worthwhile.
Wow, yeah.
Either you are a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer.
Okay.
And I didn't fit any one of those three. I chose to become an artist.
Right.
And so the pressure was so great for me to conform to norm that I felt that if I didn't get away from there, I'm going to lose my mind.
Right.
And so I decided to seek further my education abroad.
Right.
But I didn't want to go to Europe because Europe was just 6 hours flight away on the average.
Right.
And so I decided to come to America, which at least it takes you 15 hours flight to get here.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how I got here, and I gained admission to into Memphis College of Art back then, and then eventually did my master's at the University of Memphis.
So you ran away from Nigeria. Just like, I gotta get away from this place.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, that's cool, man. You did it. So, what have you done in this city since you've been here? Nice.
Wow.
Because I know a couple of things, but I want to ask you that question because I know the people might want to know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start with my latest project and work the way all the way back. Okay. So right now I'm working on an art incubator.
I was gonna ask you about that too.
Okay, so let me shift that. Let me go from the back and walk forward.
Yes, right.
So since the first thing I noticed when I arrived in Memphis was in
what year was it?
This was 1981, 82.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. In high school, we learned a lot about. We learned in our geography class. We knew a lot about the Americas.
Right.
You know, I knew cities like Chicago, St. Louis, Minnesota, Memphis, particularly because Memphis was named after Memphis in Egypt, and the great two rivers of the world run through this city. Memphis, Egypt, River Nile.
Right.
Memphis, Tennessee, the Mississippi.
Yes.
So I was so eager to see the Mississippi when I got here. The first thing I did after I put down my luggage was run to the river.
Right.
And boy, was I disappointed. I was disappointed because all along the river was trash, dilapidated buildings, boarded out, warehouses. And I go, wow, these people just don't know what they have. You understand?
Right.
That was one. Then the second thing I noticed when I flew in was they were displaying cars at Memphis Airport at that time.
Right.
And I go, do they sell cars from here?
At the airport.
At the airport,
yes.
So, and then years later, I said, this city has so much potential. They just don't know it, right?
You're right, man.
You're smack right in the middle of America. It is a 2 hours flight to New York, 2 hours flight to Miami,
yes,
3 hours flight to LA.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? This should be the hub of everything.
You're right.
The weather is beautiful. The weather in Memphis is stable.
You're right.
It's not extreme. You don't get the tornadoes. You don't get the fires. You don't get the earthquakes. You don't get all these other disastrous things that happen in every other city.
You're right.
So why not take advantage of this place? So my mission was to promote Memphis as a place that people can see the beauty, even through all the clouds. Okay. So the one thing I did first was I made a proposal to create an art district. Okay, because I knew the effect of how art can change a city. So the South Main Art District was one of the things I worked on for 4 years. Was able to have my own building, open my own gallery down there, actually went out and sought other artists to move into the area, got galleries into the area. At the height of it all, we had close to about 13 galleries in the district. Right. Put together a proposal for a trolley art night, which is the last Friday of every month. and then made a proposal to restaurant owners to move restaurants in there. A lot of them told me, the numbers were not there, people don't come out there, which was true. So I decided to open my own restaurant, have no background in restaurant. I just opened a restaurant. And
what was the name of your restaurant?
Zanzibar.
Zanzibar.
Yeah, it became
in Memphis.
In Memphis.
Right.
It became the center of culture downtown and a destination point. New York Times did a story on me about Zanzibar.
Oh, that's great.
Chicago Tribune did a story on me about Zanzibar. People were coming from New York with the article looking for Zanzibar.
Really?
Morgan Freeman did his 15th year wedding anniversary at Zanzibar.
Come on now.
Yes, because I did it in such a way that...
What year was this?
This was between 2000 and 2006.
That's great, man.
Yes, they shot movies at Zanzibar.
Man, why ain't I go to Zanzibar? I should have went to Zanzibar.
Right. I mean, people got married at Zanzibar. People got divorced at Zanzibar. It became...
Z-Dogg should have been at Zanzibar.
Zanzibar became a destination point.
Yes.
People will come from East Memphis, afraid to come downtown,
right?
But they will come to Zanzibar.
Oh, that's great.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know of Rumble Room today? Rumble Room started from Zanzibar.
Really? The Rumble Room?
I started salsa with a friend, brought salsa, brought a band, and performed outdoors. People, I mean, it was crazy what we were doing in a space where nothing was happening.
Right.
Okay? So that was my gift to the city. For that, the city gave me the first individual vision award awarded to an individual. Most of it were awarded to corporation.
Right.
So I got the first individual vision award from the Center City Commission.
Man, you're a very inspirational man, man.
Yeah. And then the next thing I decided to do was the airport. I put a proposal.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. They said you was the reason that the airport has paintings in there.
A lot of people don't know that. I put a proposal to the airport authority as far back as 91.
Right.
To begin to install artwork into the airport.
Right.
Because at that time, Memphis was a great hub. I think Northwest was here. And according to the statistics, over 12 million visitors come through the airport.
Right.
Most do not necessarily come into the city, but it's a
transition. Yes,
right?
exactly. Yes.
So I just figured you have 12 million people that come to your airport.
Yes.
You don't have anything about your city that they can see at the airport.
You're right.
You know?
You're right. Yes.
You want to display cars? No. So I put that proposal together. It took from 91 to 2009 or so.
Man.
For them to allow me to do
over
that.
10 years.
Yeah. And I've eventually installed artwork in there. I got a lot of people who came to me and said, what a move that was.
Yes, it really was.
And so
that's major.
That has transitioned to what it is today. Now,
man, Ephraim out here is making moves, man. Right up under your nose. For real, man. I love it, man. I love it, man. I want to speak on the this Naked Truth art project you have. I want to speak on that too.
Yeah. So moving forward to my next project.
Right.
So now,
hey, he's always working. He's always working, man.
Because as a creative mind.
Yes.
The creative mind don't sleep.
I'm always working. I'm doing 7 things right now.
Because you're inspired all the time. Okay. God gave you that talent, not to sit on it, but to use it to influence the world that you were born into.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly.
And when you connect with that, when you connect with your creator and you connect with the source of that creativity and that vision,
right?
I'm telling you, the universe wraps its round around you and just begin to show you where to go and how to go.
It's been showing me the past 10 years, and I just been following wherever they lead me.
And you don't get old, you don't get sick because you're so energized, you're full of all this energy because you want to accomplish something.
I do.
That is where happiness is.
Every year I said, man, I just gotta do this every year. I have so much motivation, and so many people ask me, Z-Dogg, how you be doing all these things? I can't even explain to them.
Because it's not explainable.
No, I can't even explain to them, and I'm not tired. I'm not overworking myself. it's just sometimes
Yeah.
I have time to do all these things.
Yeah. Yep.
I do my podcast now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and do Bet You Don't Know. I'm gonna finish writing this movie script. I'm gonna go in there. I got my clothing line.
Yeah.
I be doing so many things, and I'm about to do a cook. I'm trying to do a cooking show.
Okay.
But I'm trying to find a kitchen I can film my cooking show in.
Well, I got something for you on that. So my project, the Naked Truth Art Project,
Right.
is threefold.
Right.
So I have the visual component of it, where I have taken visual art, 150 pieces plus,
Right.
and still counting, that I've created to address some of these social issues that America has been dealing with for over 400 years.
Right.
Okay? Like I said to you earlier on, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Right.
And I figured that if I can create pieces of work that people can connect with, we may possibly be able to ignite emotions that will lead to conversations.
Right.
You understand?
I do.
That is the visual part of it. Then I have the street art part of it. The street art part of it is, I don't want my work to only be in museums and commercial galleries where the elite of the world only can have access to.
Right. Right.
So how do I bring this art to the average person who does not even know anything about art? So I've connected, I've applied technology to my work to create a series of tiles that I called Untold Stories.
Right.
These are stories that have been embedded in the psyche of this community and beyond for decades that most people hear of but don't know of.
Right.
Right? Take the story of the Memphis massacre of 1866.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of Memphians might hear of it but don't know of it.
Don't know of it. Right.
Right?
I found that out.
Exactly. So I dug those stories and created visual around those stories. And then now I've created tiles from those visuals and embedded QR codes on them.
So you saying you're gonna take tiles like they have in Hollywood, right? They have the stars, right? So you're gonna take tiles of
right.
your paintings, right, and
right.
put them on the streets of downtown.
Of Memphis and beyond. So the short-term goal is to launch this project in Memphis. It's downtown Memphis, okay, along the South Main House District. And then of my long-term goal is to have it in major cities across America.
That's great.
Where people, as they walk and go
They
about
can
their
scan
daily,
it and stuff.
their daily duties, they can scan these stories,
Right.
and it's on their phone.
Oh, that's great.
And on their own time, in their own quiet spaces, explore or read about these stories and connect to them, and possibly do something about it.
I can see people right now walking down the street, Beale Street, with their phones,
Exactly.
scanning the
these
tiles.
tiles.
That's a great idea.
So also I've created a clothing line along the same concept where you scan my clothes.
Right.
And those stories are in
Yes.
your hand.
That's great.
So my work is going to be a walking art history
Right.
at the same time as a visual,
Yeah.
So that's what those concepts is all
Let's
about.
speak. I want to.
And then I mentioned, you talk about cooking. I'm sorry.
Right. You good? We good.
So the third component is I'm creating, now I'm looking to the future, right? We're here just for a time.
Right.
And my goal is to now, how do I use my life experiences to inspire the next generation?
Right. Exactly.
Creative
Yes.
mind.
Yes.
So I'm putting together a 7,000 square feet art incubator, which we have 6 residencies upstairs and a commercial restaurant and kitchen downstairs to bring people like you who are restless
Right.
and want to do everything,
Exactly.
but give them the infrastructure where they can go and explore all of that. I'm not too far from where you are.
I know.
My incubator is just down the street.
Right.
Okay, so there's going to be a commercial restaurant there, and one of the things I want to do that is have guest chefs come in,
Right.
and do a cooking show from there.
Yes.
Where I connect one of the events I do right now is called Dinner and Dialogue.
Right.
So part of, after you see this artwork, you've scanned that and all of that, it's time to sit down and talk, right?
Right.
But I want to do that over food,
Yes.
okay?
I understand.
And then film it.
Yeah.
And then
That's great.
You know,
That's great.
so that falls within what you're trying to do.
Right, yeah, because I got this cooking show I want to do called In My Bag, right?
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna have 2 contestants.
Okay.
See who can cook their best pasta dish.
I have
And I'm
another-
gonna film it. I'm gonna have three judges taste the food and judge it.
There you go. And then I have this concept of raising capital for all of it, because
Yes.
this involves a lot of money.
Right, right.
I have friends who are physicians who are great chefs. They are artists in their own,
Right.
And I want to have a contest between doctors who cook.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's
It's
great.
a
That's
special
great.
event I do down there. So there's a lot of things I think we can do, collaborate on.
Yes.
And that is why it's so beautiful when you meet people who see beyond just their limited comfort zone.
That's it. I say I'm rare, because I don't come across too many people like me. So a lot of people I come across, they say, man, you outwork me to death. I never met a person that outworks me until I meet you, Z. And when I met you, I was the hardest working person until I met you. I don't come across too many people that works,
I'm a whole workaholic too.
Yes, I know it, man. That's why I say every time you speak, it's like my brain be firing, because it's like, hey, he's saying the thing I say. He's doing things I do. You know what I mean? For real. But like I said, we're doing 2 different things, man.
Yeah.
For real. And I love it, man. I love it, man. I can't wait. I'm excited now. And we ain't even started doing these things yet.
I know.
But I just can't wait to get to it.
But I've laid the foundation for all of that. So I'm going to have residencies upstairs where I'm going to bring artists from across the globe to come spend 3 months at a time with us and create.
And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
How did you acquire 405 South Main? How did you acquire this spot on South Main
That's
Street?
an interesting story, right? So I had a commission to do a piece for the Wolf Chase Mall when they were building the Wolf Chase Mall.
Right.
I was one of several artists that were invited to participate in that. And so my piece was 60 feet long, 18 feet high. And I was
Your painting?
My painting, right.
Yes.
That I was going to do for the mall.
Right.
And I was looking for a warehouse space for that.
Because it's a large. That's a large
Yes.
painting. Yes.
That's how I stumbled into that building. And in the process of creating this piece, I fell in love with the building. And in the process of falling in love with the building, I saw the potential of
Hey, I can do
what
this.
area
That's what
could
people
be.
like us do.
Yeah.
You give us a small space, and you're gonna be like, hey, you know what I can do in here?
Yeah.
I can do this here. I can build a gym in here.
Yeah.
You know what I can do? I can build a paint shop in here.
Yeah. I was thinking of
Yes, man.
but I didn't have any money to buy the building.
Hey,
right?
we just, hey, listen, man. I say this right here. Ideas is my money.
Yes.
I just do this idea I got in my
Yes.
head, and money's gonna come.
Yes.
Don't worry about the money right now.
Yes.
I know the money's gonna come
Yes.
if I do this idea.
So I put a proposal after finishing the piece. The building was dilapidated. Let me tell you, electricity, not running water.
Right.
It was crazy.
Right.
But I put a proposal to the owner of the building. Said, I'd like to buy this building, and he goes, "You crazy?"
He don't see what you see.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
But that's how I acquired the building. Years later, transformed that whole space to what it is today.
Oh, that's great,
Yeah.
Ephraim, man. For real. So I want to get to another segment of the show. What do you think about the crime in Memphis? And are you worried about people like breaking into your business, or are people worried about business leaving Memphis? Because a lot of businesses leaving Memphis because of the crime. What do you think about that?
In the first place, I'm a true believer on the saying that says you reap what you sow. The crime in Memphis today is the result of what has been sown for decades in this community.
Right.
When you neglect a segment of your society and you don't provide opportunities, and when they try to even lift themselves up, you constantly knocking them down, eventually it will come back to bite you.
And that's what's happening now.
That's what's happening now. And I hear the story, I hear businesses are trying to move away, but they can run, but you can't hide.
You ain't lying.
You could run to another city
And it's gonna
if
be
you
there.
don't change the way you've done things here, and you take the same attitude to that city,
It's gonna happen.
it's going to happen again.
You're right.
And then you're going to run, right?
You can be running your whole life.
but you can't hide.
You can't.
The solution is to rethink about what have we done wrong. That is where my project, what you're doing, comes into play.
Right.
Because we're shining light on the source of the issue.
Right.
Okay? They're looking at the issue. So it's like there is a disease, right? You have an illness. Okay? You go to your doctor. The doctor did not even know, did not look at the source why you ill. You just prescribe your medication.
Medication, yes.
That's temporary fix.
It is.
Okay? That might give you short-term relief, but long-term, that thing is going to continue to grow.
You're right.
You understand? So when they talk about crime, I just say, listen, corporations need to put their head together. Imagine a FedEx here, AutoZone here. I drive through a few blocks from here. It's a neighborhood that has been so neglected. You understand?
I do. Yeah.
And you have these big corporations here making money from this city, and they drive through there, they don't see it, and then you complain about crime?
Yeah. You're right, man. You're right, man. For real. So I'm not gonna hold you up, man. You know my show is called Giving Out Free Game. What game do Ephraim have for the people? What kind of knowledge do you have for people out here?
Well, apart from my little wisdom I try to share with people,
Right.
I have a series of reproduction of my work that I do give to people. You know,
Right.
the reason I do that is because that will be worth more to them down the street, down the road, as I begin to move. A piece of artwork becomes very valuable to you down the road.
Right.
So that's the presence I have for people.
That's great. That's great, man. Now I really appreciate that.
And you can reach me in my space at Urevbu Contemporary at 410 South Main Street. If you want to know more about all of that.
I'm going to make sure I put all his links everywhere you can contact him, find him in the description of this video.
Yeah.
And I want to give out a little free game before I get out of here. And y'all know, y'all better pay attention. Listen, don't call me to tell me to do some shit that you ain't doing. Practice what you preach. Don't tell me how I do my stuff and you ain't out here doing nothing. Don't tell me. You need to practice what you preach. Don't tell me, Z-Dogg, man, you need to do this right here. You might need to start doing this here. You might need to start doing this here. Don't tell me, tell yourself. You the one that ain't doing nothing. I'm doing something. Practice what you preach. Don't tell me to do some shit and when you ain't doing shit. And that's my giving out free game for today. And that's giving out free game. Yeah.